Welcome to another episode of Talking Nerdy in the Bedroom with
Corey
and KJ. No Mike, which is disappointing because we were supposed to be doing the Last of Us episode, but Mike had to work late, and I don't want to do the episode without him. Kind of going to wait on that one, which is kind of sucky because I just saw it and I loved it. I loved all of it, and Mike has played the game. Have you started the game yet?
No, but I probably will.
Now that the season's over?
Well, yeah, for sure. But I just also mean I probably will this weekend because Janie and the kids went down to
that's right.
New Hampshire. So
yeah, it's definitely probably going to take you more than a weekend unless you just binge it constantly. But it's also be interesting to talk to you because you'll kind of do the opposite of Mike and I, because obviously Mike and I played the game and then watched the show, and I just recently replayed the game after watching the first couple episodes. So it'll be interesting to see your take, seeing it from the other way when we do that episode, probably in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Give me some time.
Yeah. And then, so this is going to be an impromptu episode, and we're going to be doing sketch comedy. I planned on doing a solo episode of this a while back, but you wanted to talk about it too. You wanted to be involved. Just wanted to act like you were, part of something. I get it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about sketch comedy shows. There's out there like SNL, obviously.
What's
Chapelle
SNL?
Show, Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
It's been going since the 70s, I think.
Yeah, probably.
And then so there's Key and Peele. There is MadTV.
Is Key and Peele, I guess it's sketch comedy.
It's literally sketch comedy.
I know. It just feels different because it's not live, is it?
Neither was Chapelle.
No, but SNL is. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
MadTV wasn't. SNL is the only one.
Yeah, I guess SNL is the only live one. Well, that's just when you think of sketch comedy, you think of SNL. So you. Think of
I
that.
actually don't. I think of Chapelle.
Really?
And it's just because those sketches stand kind of the test of time for me.
Well, there's some SNL skits that do too.
Yeah, but I guess when you look at how many episodes Chapelle did, which is roughly 30, maybe 40, and then you compare that to the amount of and how many good episodes out of the 30 and 40 are, it's probably a 90%.
Yeah.
And then you look at SNL and how many episodes that they've done, it's just probably in the thousands or hundreds or something.
Yeah.
And how many good ones have there been? Not to that 90% level.
No, not 90%.
No, you might be batting 50-50.
Well, the problem is there might be every episode might have 90% of the episodes might have one skit that was good, really good.
Yep.
But the problem is you have an episode full of skits and they're not often that great. All of them. Even on the best episodes, there's bad skits.
Yeah, well, I think that's hard because you're literally pumping out, at least they used to. They take more breaks now than they used to, but they're coming up with a new show every week on the fly.
Yeah.
Can't be easy, even
what
with
day
a team
of,
of writers.
Do they do it?
Well, they rehearse all week, and then obviously they do the episode live Saturday.
Friday, I think. Yeah.
Well, not Friday. Oh, because you're being an idiot. Well, technically it's Sunday, really. Because it starts at 11:30.
Yeah.
And then it goes till 1, or it starts at 11 and ends at 12:30, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so SNL started in 1975. And there was many times the show was going to be canceled.
Somebody Googled while we were talking.
I did Google because I was like, I should probably have that up. It's also interesting to me how many people like the show, and that because obviously it's still around. It does seem more geared towards I think they make fun of both sides, but obviously it's more geared towards the left for Democrats. At least it seems most of the sketches are. But they do make fun of the other side as well.
So SNL's had many different cast members, obviously, in different eras, eras almost. Who, if you could pick, let's just say, I'm kind of replicating a thing I saw on Howard Stern with David Spade, but if you could pick your top 5, if you were building a dream team of an SNL cast, who would you pick if you picked 5 people?
Will Ferrell.
Okay. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Just because when he wasn't on there very long, but some of his skits, like the Mr. Rogers sketch where he plays a poor Mr. Rogers, it's so fucking funny. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I would do them. I did like Chevy Chase, but I don't think I'd put him in the top.
Yeah.
Chris Kattan for me is also one that I don't think many people would mention, just because he's so animated in most of the things. They could basically give him any type of skit and he will just put his whole self into it. So I'd probably put him in it. I would also look at, like, it's hard not to say Chris Farley either, just because, I mean, he has so many memorable skits. He wasn't as long on it as long as he potentially could be. I think he got let go from it as well.
Can't remember.
And so did, I think, Adam Sandler was on it. He got fired from it. There's been a ton. How many am I up to?
I don't know. You kind of rambled.
Yeah, I do that.
So you got Chris Farley,
Chris Kattan, Eddie Murphy. There, I named him.
Will Ferrell,
and then, so Tina Fey / Amy Poehler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because diversity.
Well, not only diversity, but they are really funny.
I know.
Like, I want to throw in like Cicely Strong.
But I feel like you got to the 5th spot and you were like, shit, I gotta have
Not that I have to. I was like, God, there have been a lot of funny women.
Just, for the listeners out there, he didn't list them at 3rd or 2nd. They were all the way at the end.
Who's the girl from Superstar and Night at the Roxbury?
Shoot.
Mary Shannon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Something Shannon.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Mary.
Yeah.
It's something Shannon.
But she's so good in so many things, too. She's also one that just, like, was willing to do it all.
Yeah.
Molly Shannon?
Yes, Molly Shannon. Sounds right, yeah. And
I love, not so much nowadays, but that some of the skits used to get so popular that they did a movie off it.
Yeah.
Chris Kattan had his movie where...
Corky Romano?
Yeah, Corky Romano,
okay.
yeah. Night at the Roxbury's was
Yeah,
good. Yeah. God, what is that other one? It wasn't that good. MacGruber had his own movie. There's been a bunch of them that have actually, like, none of those movies were insanely popular except for Night at the Roxbury, and that was mostly not in the theaters, but afterwards. This is going to sound random because I just heard an interview with... is it Nick Schultz or something like Nick something? You've seen Grandma's Boy, right?
Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah.
Nick something? I don't know.
Stoll
Or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was saying that movie only made like $1 million at the box office.
Grandma's Boy?
Yeah. But DVD sales made like $100 million because it's one of those type of movies. Yeah. And I don't know how much of that is still going on in today's world because everything is like streaming, but I feel like we're missing out on some movies because of that, where you have this opportunity to really cash in on the back end, even though like might be a critical failure at the box office, but then you have a movie like Grandma's Boy, which is a hilarious movie, but a movie I would never see in theaters.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I
already
knew how much I was going to like it.
Yeah, sure.
Not if I'd already seen it, because then I'd be like, why would I see it in theaters?
Yeah.
But
like, there's a difference. Like, you look at Hangover when that came out, it was one of those movies that just kept getting better in the box office, which usually doesn't happen. Usually there's that huge drop-off after the first weekend. But Hangover, because people didn't know really what it was, people would go see it, and then it was like, hey, this is really good. And then more people would go see it. And then more people would go see it.
And then they made a third one, and everybody regretted
going to see it. Well,
even
the second one wasn't that good either. It was basically a remake of the one,
but the third one was garbage. A remake of the first.
Yeah. Well, when you focus on the two of the side characters for the entire movie, one of the parts of why Ken Jeong and Zach Galifianakis' characters were so funny was because they were side characters. Like,
well, Zach Galifianakis wasn't a side character in the first movie.
Yeah, but they didn't really focus on his story or backstory. He was there throughout it, but it wasn't. The story was more about obviously finding the people.
It was the wolf pack. It was the
the three best friends.
3 of them, right?
Yeah. Well, it technically 4 because the other one's on the roof. That guy's
never around.
Yeah.
Now, if they'd gone off on a tangent and focused on him in the third movie, I would have been
like, in the third movie, the best part about it was at the end.
Guy. Yeah.
At the end, because Ed Helms wakes up with tits.
Oh, yeah.
Because he got a boob implant.
I don't even remember the third one, really. Yeah. It was bad.
And, that one, to me, looked like it was going to be, I don't know, something better than what it was. But the second one wasn't that great anyway. But the first one, I still will randomly watch. Like,
first one was great.
once a year, once every other year, something like that. Like, and it still holds up. It's very funny.
I do like the second one when they're in Thailand and they're talking to the dancer, I guess, who's a transvestite. She's like, yeah, you came in, you sucked my dick. And he's like, wait, you mean you sucked my dick? And no.
Or there's a part in that, too, where he's like, I got a demon in me. Yeah, and then Zach Galifianakis is like, he's got semen in him.
Yeah, it's true. He does have semen in him.
That's a good part.
That's when they, like, jam up on the boat. Up onto the shore, Yeah. So anyway, you give me your 5 SNL. I'm going to give you my 5, okay? I mean, maybe not surprising, but Bill Hader. All day.
Yeah, Bill Hader's great.
Not only for impressions, but just he's hilarious. Will Ferrell, I'd probably throw in there too, although Bill Hader and him kind of serve similar purposes to an extent.
Yeah.
Dana Carvey over Chris Kattan.
Yeah, Dana Carvey. Yeah.
I'd probably go Chris Farley for like I mean, it's weird to just say like the big bolsterous guy, but that's basically what it is. It's either him or the guy who died that was on. He died. I know, but the guy who died that was on the show way before, was an alcoholic. He was in Animal House.
Oh, damn it!
I'm blanking on his name.
Oh,
Belushi.
Well,
John Belushi.
Jim Belushi.
No,
but there's you're not talking about Eddie or not.
No, I'm pretty sure it's John Belushi.
It's not John, is it? In the Jim Belushi.
I can look Jim it up, Belushi's somebody else, and you're confused.
Is that his brother?
Yeah, I don't know.
God, there's the other guy that was. I don't think he was on SNL then. Like,
oh yeah, but so that's 4.
Yeah. What's your 5th?
My 5th would. It's weird because he wasn't really a cast member, but he was on the show. I almost would say Conan O'Brien because he's one of the best writers.
Well, I was gonna say he was a writer,
but he did act in a couple skits.
Yeah,
but no, I probably, if I had to be legit and go with the 5th, I would say.
This is where you throw in the obligatory woman too.
Oh yeah, shit. Well, I wouldn't go with. Who'd you go with?
Amy
Fey?
Poehler / Tina Fey.
See, I would go with Kristen Wiig or
Wiig is good.
Who's the other one who does? She does the Justin Bieber impression, which I don't really like that one.
Oh yeah, she just left SNL too.
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
Either can I, off the top of my head.
But Kristen Wiig's good though. I do love Kristen Wiig. She's in a lot of those like fake commercials they have.
Yeah, some of those commercials, man.
Yeah.
So
that guy, I don't even know his name, but he could be in my top 5 just for those commercials.
There's so funny. And obviously when Andy Samberg was on the cast, I loved all those Lonely Island sketches.
Yeah.
I'm on a boat.
Dick in a Box.
Dick in a Box. Mother Lover. Golden Rule. All 3 of those are instant classics. A Boss.
Like a Boss. That's the one I was going to say.
That's a real good one.
And who is it? Is it Seth Rogen? That's
Seth
in the
Rogen
music
is
video?
in it. Is in the video.
Yeah. But anyway, those are my 5.
Did you say you chopped your dick off and die? Nope. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. That ain't me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. But all those sketches are just top notch.
It's hard not to want to throw Adam Sandler in the top 5, though. He just had so many good ones.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, if you're talking...
Or Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase,
well, see, I was just about to...
Bill Murray.
I was literally just about to bring them up. I feel like you have to do top 5 of, like, each decade or something.
Well, so that's why I was trying to separate it. So, like, Dana Carvey is not one of my top 5 favorites. But when you have that vein, you have, like, Dana Carvey, David Spade, Chris Kattan. Yep. They all serve the same kind of purpose on the cast at that time.
Sure. Well, I think you kind of always need that. Like, you want a diverse cast of people that can just be really good impressionists. Yeah, people that
like Bill Hader's impressionist, but he's funny enough beyond that.
Who is it's Will Ferrell, right? Or who does the voice for Jeopardy?
It Will Ferrell plays Trebek. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
And then the guy that plays.
I don't know who plays Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, but he does fantastic.
I hate you, Trebek.
Yes.
I love that. I'll take George. It's S words. Saber. I love that. What is the other one? I'll take the rapist. It's therapist.
Those are good.
One of my favorite ones is where it's like just draw any shape or number or anything, and he draws like what looks like an M or something, or I can't remember, but it's the top half of the screen. So then when it shows he's like, yes, that's right, finally a real answer. Then he shows the answer and it's the top of the writing below. and it just says "fuck you, Trebek." he goes, "Why would you do that? You could have won." He's like, "'Cause I hate you." So good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the fake commercials that they do.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Season
real good.
of Giving's a great one.
Yeah. The one about the car.
The car, yeah.
Yeah. I just recently, I think, sent it to you guys again.
Why don't we drive by Ashley's house and show her this cool car your dad's getting?
But it's so true. How many times have you seen? And there's one that I think I just recently saw, which was for Valentine's Day. Get your woman a new car.
Yeah.
Like a car is, unless you're making millions of dollars, a car is a big purchase, especially now where car prices are through the roof.
Yeah.
Like who would do that without talking to your significant other about potentially doing it?
That's true.
And then they just keep going with it. Like his neighbor comes by and he's like, you just asked me for $5,000 to get back on your feet and you're now go buy this brand new car.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Then they have the one where it's making fun of the whole, I'm gonna take a picture with a gun on prom night for my daughter, like, you better not, and he shoots his dick off. And then he's in the hospital bed, he's like, listen, he's talking to the boyfriend, he's like, listen, just out of respect to me and my situation, can you please just not have sex tonight? And he's like, okay, yeah, I mean, we will, but yeah. And he's like, no, seriously, just, because of my situation, can you just please promise me? He's like, okay, but like, we will, but we're totally going to. It just keeps going.
Their fake trailers, too, are also great. Like, there was just the one that was when Pedro was on for Last of Us, where they did the Mario Kart.
It's a me.
It's so good. It's very gritty and very funny.
Well, the Bambi one was
I was
great.
just about to bring up the Bambi because we always talk about the Bambi.
Why they call
one.
you Thumper? Because I'm
so for the listeners who haven't seen it, I definitely recommend going to YouTube and looking it up because it's when The Rock guest starred.
No. Just listen to the little context we give you and imagine how good it is.
The Rock guest starred, and they did, because Disney's doing all these live action movies.
Right, yeah.
They're going to do the live action version of Bambi, but they're going to merge it with Fast and the Furious. And you've got The Rock playing Bambi.
I forget about that. He's like, I don't have friends. I have a herd.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, they've got Vin Diesel being played by, that guy.
I don't know who plays him.
But. Damn it, I just had his name on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember it. It's like Tiram, Tiram, something like that.
I don't know.
But anyway, the rest, and Jay Farrow plays Tyrese in it. He's the skunk.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And it's just so funny. And then, they asked Vin Diesel why they call him Thumper. And it's because I'm always thumping.
No. Yeah, Vin Diesel. Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, that's a very funny one that they do. They have a lot of other movie ones that are just really well done, and to the point where they're just making fun of everything. That's what I like the wide variety of stuff that they go after, and things that are just, when they do it, it just seems so funny. Some of them are misses, obviously. They're just not going to be that funny. There's tons of times I've watched the show and I've just not enjoyed it.
Speaking of like the more woman-focused skits, like with
where the fuck were we speaking of that?
Well, because you were
like 10 minutes ago.
You were putting them last on your list, so
Jesus.
I want to bring them up because Tina Fey and I want to say it's Amy Poehler have one I really like called "Meet Your Second Wife." Have you seen that one?
Oh yes,
yeah.
Oh my god, that one is
great.
So funny.
Yeah.
And, like you meet her and she's 7 years old, and one of them, or they show one and she's like 19 or 21,
and he's like, "Oh, that's not so bad."
Like, oh no, hold on, she's pregnant with your
I
second
love
wife.
Kenan Thompson's one of the guys, and they're like, "All right, let's bring out your second wife," and he's like, "Please don't be white. Please don't be white." And then it shows, I forget her name, but I don't
Leslie
really
Jones.
I don't like her. Yeah. But it shows her in the audience just pissed off. So yeah,
that's a good one. When Tom Hanks guest starred, he did Black Jeopardy.
Yeah,
that's a real good one too.
Yeah, I love it. And he plays like a redneck. Pretty much,
or Make America Great Again redneck. Yeah, that's really good. All right, so if we before we move away from SNL, I will say sometimes some of the best jokes on that show, besides for the cold open, it is kind of saved for, or just maybe they just land better, the Weekend Update, even though that's not necessarily sketch comedy, but
Weekend Update right now has one of the few things that that recently I have found funny on SNL, and it's
the joke swap.
It's the joke swap.
They didn't do it this year.
They didn't?
No, they always do it the last episode of the year in December, like before the Christmas break.
Wait, so the ones I've seen are from 2 years
year ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years.
They've just been popping up lately that I've seen them. Okay.
And it's probably because people were upset that they didn't have one this year.
Yeah, no, those are great.
Oh, they're so funny.
Those,
yeah, with Michael Che and Colin Jost.
Yeah,
Colin, that bastard who's married to Scarlett Johansson, lucky bastard.
Is he really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, lucky bastard.
Good for him.
Yep.
Good for her. He's funny.
He is funny. He's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Weekend Update, they had Norm Macdonald do that for a while.
Dennis
Chevy
Leary.
Chase.
Not Dennis Leary. What's his name?
Dennis Leary.
Oh, shoot. He was before Norm Macdonald. He talked like, hey, you guy. Oh, Spade here. A wise guy. I can't. I'm doing a bad impression.
Yeah, terrible. That doesn't help me at all.
But he had that kind of like sounding voice.
Well, we had Tina Fey and God, what's his name? He has his late night show now. Jimmy Fallon for a while, and then it was also Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
For a while.
God, what was his name? Dennis Leary is the Rescue Me guy. Yeah, so it's not Dennis
definitely
Leary.
Definitely not.
Dennis. I'm pretty sure it was Dennis.
No. Maybe, but it doesn't sound right.
Are you looking up Weekend
Update? I am currently looking at Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Jane Curtin. Yeah. Charles Rocket.
No.
Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller. There you go. Yeah.
You had the Dennis right.
Yeah, I knew I had Dennis right. I just couldn't think of his last name.
So it was Dennis Miller, then it was Kevin Nealon, then
right,
Norm
it's Kevin
Macdonald.
Nealon. I forget about Kevin Nealon.
Yeah. Then Colin Quinn.
Yeah. Man, I don't like him very much.
Yeah, and then Jimmy Fallon, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, this other person, Amy Poehler and Seth Meyers. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Seth Meyers did it a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Seth Meyers and Cicely Strong. I always liked Cicely. She always did very well with. Really? Like, I'm sure if you've seen her, you know who she is. But
if I've seen her, I know who she is.
If I was to show you who she is, you would know.
The way you said it,
shut your whore mouth.
I mean, you're right. If I had seen her, I know who she is.
All right, so let's move on from this onto other sketch shows.
All right, Whitest Kid You Know.
I don't like it.
That's not true. You love it in theory.
Yeah, in theory. So Corey has been trying to get me to like this show or watch this show for
just certain
years.
Skits. It's not all gold.
Well, yeah, but you're like, just watch. And I've always said no. And then Corey describes some of these skits, and I'm like, all right, that's kind of funny. That's right. Then I will watch those skits, and they're awful. There's only one decent one, which is the grape.
I was gonna say, if you don't like the grape one, you're awful.
And it's gonna sound bad because I'm gonna be boosting your ego a bit.
No. But go ahead and describe how great this is to the audience.
I'm saying that the way you described it was funnier than what was on. Yeah. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. They're Canadian. Right? Funny Canadian.
But yeah, so that one is a good one. I definitely recommend people to watch it. But basically, it's a advertisement for grapes, but he keeps saying things like rape, and yeah, it just.
Well, he goes like, "I'm gonna come on over, kids. I'm gonna grape you. I'm gonna grape you in the mouth," and it just gets worse from there.
Oh, it gets so much worse.
But of course, the people he's pitching to are like, it sounds off, and he's just like,
trying to say this?
Yeah. Probably wouldn't go over so well these days, but the show was back early 2000s, I think, maybe.
So one of my favorites that is Chapelle. Like, when I think sketch comedy, I just think of Chapelle, just because of how many.
The race draft is like.
The race draft is
the Clarence Bigsby one is another one that, like, I don't know how it would go over today, but man, was it funny.
Oh, so funny. Yeah. And he also had the reparations.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He also had the crack addict who had so many.
I was trying to think of his name.
So was I. Yeah. I can't.
He did the Fear Factor with Joe Rogan.
He did, and he just like ate shit, did all these things. He's like, I don't know what these people are freaking out for.
They're like, okay, you got to stay in the like tank of worms and bugs for like 20 minutes to win, and then they're like, okay, you've won, you can get out now, and he's like, nah, why don't you give me turn the lights off and let me take a nap. He just stays in there.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a skit that he does, all the Rick James skits are good.
Those ones are okay.
The Wayne Brady skit, is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
Yeah,
those are real good. There's just so many, and they just keep going and going. Obviously, the race draft one for me is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it's very long compared to like some of his other skits. And he also, Bill Burr is in the skit, which I love.
Yeah.
As
Bill
one
Burr
of the
was in like a bunch of, like, he was in that show Wilding Out with Nick Cannon. I did not know
Bill Burr?
that. Yeah.
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Like the comedian.
Yes.
White bald guy.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't bald back then. He had like little ginger hair.
He did. Yeah. Wow. I'll have to look that up. I didn't know that.
He was in a bunch of like sketch comedy shows. I think he was even in that Punk'd show with Ashton Kutcher. Like he was one of the actors who like would do.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I know Dak Shepard was.
Oh yeah, Dak I knew. And
but
then
I feel like I saw Bill Burr in one of those.
Bill Burr was in, and he's really good in it. Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Well, he's in The Mandalorian.
He is in The Mandalorian. Yep.
And he's in our hearts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Bill Burr. He's so fucking funny. But anyway, back to the sketches. Yeah, Chapelle for me is just top notch, and then even the way the show is kind of set up, which I guess is similar to some other ones, but just his interaction with the audience through it, like it sucked back in the day when you had to, like, there was just so many commercial breaks. Yeah. And now it's kind of funny when you watch it on streaming where it just jumps from one skit to another without having to like wait or let it breathe. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. For some of those skits, I think the commercial break was good because then you could laugh about it and talk about it if you were watching with somebody rather than jumping right into the next skit.
So I'm not saying Chappelle's show is, well, let's put it this way. If Chappelle's show was like the PG-13 version of sketch comedy, in my mind, I've always thought of Key and Peele as like Chappelle, but PG version. Because they're more risque than...
I thought you were going the other way.
It should really be R and PG-13, but like Chappelle's not R. So that's...
PG-13, people, PG, yeah.
Yeah, and SNL is like G, basically, because there's nothing that really crosses too many lines in that. It's more to be absorbed by everybody across the board. Yeah. Where like Key and Peele probably offends somebody out there.
Key and Peele was real good.
I do like it.
It took me a while to like get into it because I just assumed it was going to be like a knockoff of Chapelle, and it's not. Well, there are so many skits that are just...
They do a better job about incorporating like observational comedy, like than...
Well, especially their perspective of it too.
Yeah.
And then there's a skit where they are playing charades, and he's like, "Oh, he's a gay guy, me."
Yeah.
Like, wait, no.
And then he realized, he's like, "No, it's Ricky Martin." He's like, "Oh shit, I put that one in." I love it. Yeah. He's like, "Living the Vida Loca, me." Yeah. And he's like, "No, you're not. Latino guy, me." Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the one too where their wives are upstairs or whatever. Yeah. And he's like,
well, he's not upstairs at first.
She was trying to get me to go in. I was like, listen. And they look around and he's like,
yeah. And then it just keeps going. Yeah. There's so many in space. Yeah. That's a real good one.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them that they do that are just all over the place, and you don't really know what's going to come next. The racist zombies one.
Yes,
that's a good one where all the black people are not getting eaten by the zombies because they're racist.
I also like the alien invasion one where they're running, and the aliens can like take the form of people, so they run up to some chick, and she's like, "Oh my god, don't mug me!" And she's like, "They're like, you're good." And then the next guy is like an old white guy, and he's like, "Please, let's work together, and we can succeed together." And they're like, just shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
So, and I'm going to jump away from Key and Peele for a second, but
sure.
The biggest thing for me back in the day when I was, God, I don't know how old I was, between 8 and 13, I was going to bring up all that. That's not where I was going right here, but MadTV. MadTV was one of those, it was always on like right before and during a little bit of SNL. Like I think they were like 11 to 12, and SNL was like 11:30 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah, MadTV had a lot of talent on it too that kind of floats around stardom now, but no one really made it too big.
Well, no, what's his face is from there? Peele.
Is he really?
Right? Or the other one. Right?
Key?
Key. Yeah, Key. Yeah,
the tall one?
Yeah, he's the one who plays the...
He is, you're right.
Yeah,
I forgot he was on that. Yeah.
He plays like the gym teacher.
But even him, like, he's not...
Oh, speaking of... Okay, because now I'm thinking about him again in Key and Peele. Aaron. The substitute teacher thing.
No, okay, one of their best skits, which I appreciate more that I've gotten into football more, is the where they're the players announcing where they're from. They're like Latamius John Jones Drew the Third, and then the next one, yeah, it's so good.
So both of them were on MadTV, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah. Bobby Lee, Michael McDonald.
McDonald, and then
Let me do it.
The bald guy, I can't remember who the
Will Sasso.
Will Sasso.
Will Sasso, yeah.
I remember those are the ones I remember the most, and Keegan. I guess I don't really remember Jordan, but Peele, but maybe he did more writing.
Ari Spears.
I don't know who that is.
Again, if you saw him, I think you'd know.
I probably would, yeah.
Yeah. He was a big one, like in SNL. Frank Caliendo, who always did the voice of like Madden. No, nothing.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Remember. In SNL?
No, in
well, you
Mad
just
TV.
said SNL. So
did I say? I meant. Sorry, I meant Mad TV.
Okay,
Yeah. Nicole Sullivan, who was in, she's been in a ton of like TV shows and bit parts in movies, but she was a huge part of SNL. God damn, I keep saying SNL.
Yeah, see my confusion?
Mad TV. Alex Borstein, she's the voice of Lois from Family Guy.
Yes, I do remember she was in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mo Collins, who is the mom of Stuart. Stuart, let me do it. Let me do it.
Yeah, I can't picture her, but
yeah. So she's another one. But Mad TV always felt like I shouldn't be watching it type of thing compared to an SNL.
It was more like potty humor than SNL was.
Yeah, and when
SNL
you're a kid,
was a little bit more like
political, more adult.
Yeah.
But I was a kid, so like Mad TV was what I wanted to watch, and they had a lot of guest stars that were more appealing to me being younger than somebody like on SNL that was guest starring. For whatever reason, I don't know. They had some wrestlers on. I think Triple H was on at one time. Bret Hart was on at one time.
So they had wrestlers.
Well, yeah, I was huge into that when I was a kid.
I know. But I was like,
that's what I was into.
Yeah, SNL has a lot of young performers and stuff on. So I was confused what you meant.
No.
What you really meant is they don't have wrestlers on SNL.
Well, they do. They have The Rock.
Oh,
Rock's performed like five or six times on there.
It's true, but not because he was a wrestler.
Yeah, the first 2 times was only because he was a wrestler. Before
I
he did
don't believe it. He had not been in a movie and he was on that.
Yeah, the first time.
I don't know if I believe you.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, the first time it was only because he was into wrestling, and then because of that, he then got the movie of being in The Mummy Returns.
Because of SNL?
Well, because of WWE and SNL and them being like, okay, maybe this guy's a box office draw. So then they did him in Mummy Returns as like the Scorpion King, and then they did the side movie
I know all that.
called Scorpion King.
Movie,
yeah, which wasn't a good movie.
I didn't mind it. It was just dumb action, but...
I thought the story was terrible. Also, the CGI in Mummy Returns was terrible for him.
You also got to remember the time period.
There were better movies out there for CGI that just look bad. Like, if you talk to anybody about that movie, they'll just talk to you about how bad that looked.
It was bad. The worst part, though, wasn't that, like, the scorpion legs or whatever. It was
him on top of it.
Stupid face. Yeah.
It looked awful.
Well, it was dumb that they worked into people's eyebrow.
Yeah. Like, for no reason.
Yeah. Like, just dumb. Oh, was that what ancient Egyptian? Like,
that's what people did, Corey. Yeah. All right. You don't know.
Yeah. I was waiting for when I was watching that. I was like, is he going to roll up and do the people's elbow?
Like, yeah.
Got 8 of them.
He has done the rock. He has done the rock bottom in some movies. In the Walking
Tall,
and then The Rundown, which is also Rundown is probably my favorite rock movie.
Yeah, I mean, I love The Rundown, but I also really like Sean William Scott, and I'm probably one of the few people who really liked Bulletproof Monk.
It was okay.
It was great.
He also is one of those guys that didn't, like, I thought he was going to become, like, a bigger actor, Sean William Scott. Like, he had his moment, and he did a lot of movies, and he wasn't the box office draw that they thought he was going to be.
Did you hear that him and Ashton Kutcher have talked about doing a sequel to Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
And they wanted to call it, seriously, Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah. I heard that. There was a lot of talk about it, like, a few years after that first movie came out, too.
Yeah. That movie
then they just didn't do it.
Didn't deserve to be as good as it was, but it was great.
It was great, and especially for the time, because we were in high school, or at least, we're the same age. We were both in high school, just different ones. Older. But every friend and every person within the school, everybody was saying Shibby
sweet.
And Dude Sweet, and all that stuff. Like, it swept my high school.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why, because it was just a movie. But it absolutely swept the high school.
Well, you only had like 15 people in your high school.
We had like, I don't know.
What, 20?
No, I think we had 60 or 80 in
that's not that bad.
In our class.
But
I meant the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody was talking about it to the point where teachers were getting annoyed, especially by Shibby, because everybody was saying Shibby.
Less stupid than what's up.
I don't remember that being like a big thing in my school. I remember people doing it for a little bit.
It was annoying.
But yeah, I don't remember it being the huge thing.
I think most fads that went through my school at the time, I even thought they were annoying. Most of them. I mean, I definitely participated in some, but like the Frosted Tips generation, you must have had a lot of kids in your school that did the Frosted Tips.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, no, that's dumb.
Matt got Frosted Tips for a dance. It was great.
Yeah.
I mocked him relentlessly.
You can literally, like, most of my best friends in school, I can go back and look at their, photos from when they were kids, and they have different haircut. I mean, maybe that means they lived and I didn't, but I just had the same haircut.
Corey.
Same haircut since third grade.
All right, so back to sketch comedy. I do want to talk about all that. Just because it was one of those shows, especially for a kid and on Nickelodeon, where they did a lot of sketches. I will tell you right now, I don't remember a single one, so none of them really. Do. Which one do I remember?
Kenan and Kel was from that originally. The orange soda stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. I know you did. Yeah.
Sure, but I couldn't tell you what one of the sketches was, but I remember Kenan and Kel.
Yeah, Good Burger.
Good Burger was that off of all that?
I think the orange soda thing came from...
the orange soda thing has nothing to do with Good Burger.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
No, it's Kenan and Kel, which is its own TV show, and then Good Burger was a movie.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what came first, chicken or the egg.
Well, that's a philosophy. God damn it!
Go ahead, say it. You better not cut this.
It's absolutely gonna cut.
Yeah,
the word
philosophical.
There it is. It's that type of question.
Let's say it together. We'll get there. Phil.
But that's a difference than all that Good Burger and Kenan and Kel, because those we could literally look up and see which one came first. But all that came first.
Yeah.
And then, they probably did a sketch of Good Burger. But Kenan and Kel had their own separate TV show, which I quite enjoyed. I actually vividly remember one of the episodes of Kenan and Kel where there's a screw in the tuna. And
there's a screw.
Yeah. I dropped the screw in the tuna. It's during the trial where Kel goes nuts about that. And then obviously everybody should remember.
Most of what I remember about that show is just orange
who
soda.
Loves orange soda?
Who loves it?
Kel loves orange soda.
Yeah. And then Good Burger, most of what I remember about that is just welcome to Good Burger home. And the Good Burger can't take your order.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I guess I do remember. I don't remember the sketches being on the show for Kenan and Kel or for Good Burger.
I can't remember anyone else other than I think Amanda Bynes
was on it.
And the bigger girl, I can't think of her name.
Too.
But,
I can't. Yeah. I don't remember her name either. Yeah. But yeah, those are the two that I remember from that too.
All right, so wrapping up, what is your favorite sketch comedy show of all time.
What do you consider like so Wild and Out? No. Is that sketch comedy?
I don't even know what Wilding Out is about, other than I know they do like rap battles at each other or something.
Whose line is it anyway?
That's not sketch comedy, that's improv.
Okay.
Sketch comedy implies that
like
you
an actual
sketch.
Okay. Chapelle. Yeah, Chapelle? It has to be Chapelle. But I will say, like, SNL has stood the test of time, and I still randomly watch SNL depending on, like, the host. I'm a huge fan of Justin Timberlake being the host. Like, his music is meh, but his acting, especially in some of the stuff that he's done, like, Alpha Dogs and some of the other stuff. But when he's the host of SNL, some of his skits are so funny. Obviously, Dick in the Box and Mother Lover and the Golden Rule, or the Golden... Was it Golden Rule? Is that what he is? Yeah, it's Golden Rule. So, yeah. And then the one where he's always in like a costume and singing, Bring It On Down to whatever
I can't remember
the thing
one.
Is supposed to be. Well, it changes every time.
Yeah.
But like, so that stood the test of time, and there are so many things on there that are going to keep going that's going to be funny, compared to Chapelle, which is obviously ended years ago.
Yeah, I think Chapelle quality per episode is higher.
Super
But
high.
then just for the sheer quantity of enjoyment, SNL probably would take it.
Yeah, well, if you're on a desert island, would you rather have quality or quantity?
Quantity. So I forget. By the time I get to the last episode, I go back, start over.
You get 40 years into watching this show.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, hey.
52 episodes a year, basically. For
52? No. There's only like 24.
They don't do it year-round?
No, they start in September or October, and then they end in
May
usually May or June.
Has that always been that way, though?
Yes.
Okay, so...
And then they take
Either
off...
way, 24 times you said it started in 1975.
Yeah, so almost 50 years.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
versus Chapelle, which I don't even know how many episodes he had, but there's probably only...
Like 40.
It's probably only like 10 that I loved, though.
Yeah, there's something to love in every single episode, though.
I'm not saying there isn't, but there's whole episodes I love versus just,
Sure. I guess if I'm on a desert island, the more I can have of something is the better, so you try not to get bored. Mm. But if you're just going from a quality perspective, then yeah, I'm going to go with Chapelle all day.
Yeah. I mean,
what about you?
Well, yeah, same probably. Chapelle quality, SNL for the quantity. I will say that, despite what you say, there are a few Whitest Kids You Know sketches that I like right up there with some of Chapelle's best sketches.
Yeah.
I put them in the same ballpark at least. So.
Yeah, I very much disagree.
I really like the Revolutionary War one.
You really like the
guy
Revolutionary
comes out
War?
And he's like, they fire. He goes, okay, we'll let you fire first so we could be sporting. The British officer, then the Americans shoot. Then they're like, okay, good shot. Now it's our turn. They shoot again. It's just like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of other sketch comedy shows, but none that I've really like watched too much of.
Yeah,
like I think the main ones obviously are SNL and Chapelle.
Actually, you know what?
Key and Peele.
I think Key and Peele I would take because I think there's more quantity than Chapelle, but I like the quality overall higher than SNL. So I think it's the middle ground between the two of them. There are Chapelle sketches that are better than anything on Key and Peele.
Yeah.
But there's more good sketches on Key and Peele, I think.
See, if I'm on a desert island, I'm not taking the middle ground. Either I'm taking, I've got 50 years worth of TV to watch, or I'm taking, this is just top notch. I'll just keep watching these.
KJ not compromising. Who could have guessed?
Who would have thought, man?
Yeah.
Although, like, if it's for me, even though we did an episode, were you here for no, you weren't here for the Always Sunny episode.
No.
Like, you can give me that and I'll watch that constantly, but just because I love the show, to me, it's quality and quantity. Like, it's the perfect balance.
I love it. It's just not a show that I rewatch.
I've probably seen that show 150 times, and that's not an exaggeration. It's always on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just good. All right, so let's wrap this up with this question. How much do you actually watch sketch comedy now? Or is it usually just clips that you see?
Well, clips.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's mostly just when something kind of like either catches your eye or somebody else sees it and they send it on to you. It's not so much actually sitting and watching like a Chapelle show or an SNL or something like that.
Yeah. I was starting to watch Key and Peele because I've never seen like every episode kind of thing. So I was starting to, but I fell off of it. So.
Yeah. I will say the same thing. I think I got to season 3.
Yeah.
And it's not for lack of it being funny or good. It's just I feel like when I have the time for the little short clips of the 1 bit or 2 bits, it's better than sitting down for 30 minutes and watching like 5 or 6 bits when I can just, I've got a couple minutes and I'm scrolling. Yeah. Oh, look, there's a bit. Oh, that's actually really funny. Or if it's not, just skip it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's basically giving you the best highlights.
Yeah.
It's like instead of watching the football game, you watch, the...
Although I want to watch the football game.
Me too, but I'm just saying, like, some people prefer just to watch the highlights.
Yeah, so. And that's also why Red Zone was a thing for so long.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, it was weird. When Nick and I were in Philadelphia and we went to Mac's Tavern, which is actually owned by Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they had Red Zone on. And every time I was starting to get into like a game, they just kept switching. It was so annoying. But that's neither here nor there because we were talking about sketch comedy. All right, final thoughts, sketch comedy, Corey. Go. Stop looking at your damn phone, you bitch.
Is good.
Is good?
Is good.
Oh, God. It's Christ.
No, I mean, what do you want me to say? I like it. I've already said which ones are my favorite. I got nothing left.
You got nothing left? Oh, my God.
I'll enjoy the clips for years to come.
If a new sketch comedy show was to come out,
I'll give it I'll watch the clips.
The clips, yeah. I wonder though, like if it was someone that you liked, like if Chapelle was like, I'm doing a new season, would that be something that makes you go, I want to watch it, or are you still gonna like?
I wouldn't watch it at first. I'd wait to see clips that I liked to draw me in because it's on a pedestal, and I don't want to. I don't want to. Like go to it and
so I don't necessarily when I was
like
talking about
I didn't find
Chapelle,
his new comedy special that funny, and everybody else was like, "Oh, he's back."
Some of them are real good.
I just thought it was kind of like, I don't know. Same thing with Chris Rock. His new special wasn't funny.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
although I loved his special back in like 2000,
which I thought was funny. Said the wrong name and he even called it out. He's like, "I just messed up the joke." So.
Maybe that was part of the joke.
I don't think so. I don't know. To be fair, I wasn't really paying attention because it wasn't funny.
Oh, okay.
I did like that he called out Will Smith finally for smacking him.
Well, I think he did it almost like it got released on Netflix a few days before the Oscars, which is obviously when he got slapped. So that's when he was trying to do it. Yeah. But yeah, he did wait a year before kind of like
I feel like he just was waiting to build a new set so that he could use it as like a, hey, come see my set. I'm finally going to address it kind of thing.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Usually by the time when it comes out on TV or video or whatever, at that point they've then moved on to their next set because that then means the rest of the world can kind of see it.
I used to like Chris Rock a lot, but the more I've watched of him outside of his sets versus in his sets, he just seems very disingenuous in his sets because he uses a lot of profanity, but you never hear him speak like that when he's like doing anything else. It's just when he's
Where are you seeing him do other things?
Like
are you
when
friends? Are you hanging out?
When he's being interviewed or talked to about anything else, like he's
usually going to be PG about some of that shit.
I don't know. It just seems like
what do you expect him to go on like the Tonight Show and just start dropping F-bombs?
It seems like he's basically got a persona he's portraying, and I just prefer comedians when they're a little bit more like, this is who I am, whether you like Bill Burr. Bill Burr is who he is.
Dude,
he's the same in his show as he is when he's being interviewed, and I appreciate the authenticity.
Yes. I'll give you that.
He talks about masturbating jokes, and then he masturbates in front of people. I mean, at least he's true to himself.
Yeah, I don't feel like anybody heard to begin with before it was like announced true, and went, oh, Louis wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
everybody's like, well, he kind of talks about it a lot.
See, I never really liked him that much, so I didn't really care. But...
Oh, some of his TV show was phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Bill Burr though, I've grown to like. He's my spirit animal.
Surprised you've never seen him because I've been to him like 4 times. He's
I don't
great.
really go to shows unless you buy the tickets and tell me about it.
That's fair. You are lazy. I agree. Yeah. All right. So next week is going to be a special episode. I'm going to get a bunch of my buddies together, and we're going to be talking about WrestleMania, because that's coming up in like a week on the 1st and 2nd, I think, for 2 nights of WrestleMania.
All of our viewers.
Yeah. So Nick's not going to listen? All right.
Does Nick like wrestling?
No, but he likes my voice. It's a very sultry voice. Yeah. And then the week after, we're going to grab Mike back, as long as everybody's schedule permits, and we will be going over The Last of Us, finally. And hopefully Corey may have beaten the game by then. I mean, at least one of them. You still have to play the second one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's helpful.